of the self is, so long will there be mind. If the ignorance is resolved, if you know I am that half knowledge, if there is I am Brahma, Aham Brahma Asmi, I am Brahman, the knowledge is there, then the mind will resolve for good. So you can say the human mind is nothing but half ignorance of this self. The desires, the passion and aversion, likes and dislikes, jealousy, hatred, anger, fear, all these emotions, knowledge, understanding, all these thought modifications, the mind obtaining in the form of multifarious thought modifications will just resolve when the ignorance is resolved. Similarly, the whole, that ignorance, isn't it? When you see from the standpoint of the totality of the universe, is called what? Maya. Therefore, what is this universe? Now you understand. Chittaspanditam. Chittaspanditam means the world is nothing but caused by the thoughts movement. The movement of thoughts caused by the ignorance, isn't it? And again, what now is this universe? Similarly, the Maya, the seeming motion of consciousness caused by these thoughts, the Maya, is this universe. Therefore, it is mithya. That he is going to explain again. Here, he takes the whole thing and divides them into three, which means three aspects, three factors constitute the whole. What are those three factors? The universe, external world of experience called prapanchaha, then mind, the antahkaranam, and atma, the consciousness. Consciousness, atma or Brahman, mind, the world. Three. These three factors constitute the whole. Consciousness, implied by the term Atma or Brahman, mind, the external world of objects. And here, this external world of objects is ever the object of experience, drishyam. Jagat always comes under the category of the drishyam. Drishyam means what? Object of experience. Prapanchaha drishyaha. The entire universe is ever will the universe be the object of experience. The universe can never become the subject of experience. Universe will ever be the object of experience. Then consciousness, the Atma, isn't it we say, the subject of experience, the knower, the experiencer will always be the Atma, the consciousness. And then the experiencer, the subject of knowledge or experience will ever be what now? The consciousness. Which means consciousness will never become an object of experience. The world will never become the subject of experience. Okay. Therefore, the world is what now? Drishyam. The Atma is what now? Drik. Drik, the experience. Ever the experiencer. And in between we have this mind. The mind is both subject and object. So, subject, ever the subject is consciousness, will be ever the subject, world will be ever the object. Between the world and consciousness, the mind is both subject and object. How can it be both subject and object? From the standpoint of the world, mind is the subject. The knower, the illuminator of the world is the mind. How mind is a subject? The illuminator, the knower of the world is the mind. Therefore, mind is the subject from the standpoint of the world. And here we say, the object is ever inseparable, ever non-separate from the subject. The object is inseparable from the subject. The object is never separate from the subject. Object has no independent existence outside of this subject. Subject is independent of the object. The subject does not depend upon the object for its existence, whereas the object is dependent on subject for its existence. Therefore, object is always mithya, subject is satyam. Why satyam? From the standpoint of the object, the subject is independent of the object. Therefore, subject is satyam, object is mithya. So, this mind here is the subject from the standpoint of the world. Therefore, from the standpoint of the world, you can say what now? The world is mithya. Mind is relatively real. Satyam. Why relatively satyam? This is because it is independent of the world. Mind does not depend upon the world for its existence. Understand? Whereas the same mind loses its status of being satyam, it attains the status of the mithya from the standpoint of the Atma, the consciousness. Why? Because mind is an object of knowledge from the standpoint of Atma, the consciousness. Therefore, the mind which is relatively real from the standpoint of the external world is mithya, non-real from the standpoint of consciousness, the Atma. So now we understood three. Atma, the consciousness, is ever the experiencer. The world is ever the object of experience. And mind is both subject and object. And it is relatively object, relatively subject. But still, mind is also mithya from the standpoint of the Atma. Whereas Atma is not dependent on the mind or the world, therefore Atma is absolutely real. We say Paramarthikam Satyam, absolute reality. Is it clear now? So, with this understanding, we have to see here. Therefore, how does the Atma illumine the mind? Just by its presence, isn't it? For which I can give you an example, but mind is internal. Don't stretch the example. Understand the example as example and leave it, okay? Imagine there is a house, and that house has an entrance, only one entrance, and the entire room is dark. Because no light, nothing, it is like a cave. Only one entrance alone is there. The whole room is so dark. No way the light, because there's no window, no hole, nothing. There's no way of light penetrating and going inside. The whole room is dark. Only one entrance is there. So how to make that room, how to illumine that room, the dark room. So in that room, so many things are there, but nothing can be seen. All the opaque things filling the room are also unseen, unillumined. The whole room is unillumined. There's no way of light penetrating there. So what we do? We keep a mirror in front of the entrance of the house. Okay? And what happens? And the light, the sunlight falling on the mirror, sunlight reflected by the mirror, is it the reflected light, sunlight, what now? Illumines the dark room. Is it clear now? Sunlight does not go into the room. You keep a mirror. The sunlight is reflected by the mirror. This sunlight reflected by the mirror goes into the room. It makes the room shine. The room becomes illumined. There's no way of sunlight directly illuminating the room. So the sunlight reflected by the mirror, the reflected light illumines the dark room. So who is the illuminate? Therefore the dark room is ever illumined. Sun is ever the illuminator. The mirror is illuminator from the standpoint of the dark room. Mirror is illumined from the standpoint of the sun. So sun is, who is the illuminator? Absolutely, the absolute illuminator is the sun. And relative illuminator is the mirror. Why? Sunlight is there. Sun does not illumine this dark room. Even though how great the sun is, the sun does not illumine the dark room. This mirror has the status of being the illuminator of this dark room. But this mirror can't have the status of being the illuminator if there is no sun. Minus sun, mirror will be as good as the dark room. In the presence of the sun, mirror has the status of being the mirror. Minus sun, mirror will be one of the opaque objects. Therefore, from the standpoint of the sun, mirror is also mithya. The dark room is also mithya. The standpoint of the mirror, dark room is mithya. And then in the dark room, mirror is relative illuminator. But absolute illuminator is the sun. Understand? Similarly here, mind is the relative illuminator of the world. Therefore, when the mind is functional, there is knowledge I am, then all the thoughts rise, the world shines. When the mind resolves, Jagat resolves. I sense resolves. Understand now? Mind is non-functional. thoughts are resolved, finished. No perception, Jagat is not there. And if you fall asleep, in sleep, where is the Jagat for you? So the existence of the mind, experience of the mind, experience of the world, enjoyment of the world, existence of the world is purely dependent on the function of the mind. The mind is functional, fully functional, that is waking universe. Mind is semi-functional, dream universe. Mind is non-functional, no universe. When do you have the dream world? And the mind is semi-functional. What is semi-functional? Mind alone, thoughts alone are there, the sense powers are resolved. The mind is totally functional when the mind functions along with the sense powers. There is waking universe. When the mind is totally non-functional, no world. Example, deep sleep state. Every day when we fall asleep, for you to world to be not there, you just doze off. It can happen in the class, it can happen after the class, during the class, before the class. Isn't it? Every time you doze off, my God, Jagat is not there. What do you want to turn the world off? You turn the mind off, world will disappear. Bring the mind back, the world comes back. Where is the world? Where does the universe exist? Where does time exist? Where does space exist? Where do the living beings exist? Where do the non-living things exist? My God, nothing exists outside of your mind. Therefore, and where does this mind exist? How do you know mind is functional? Therefore, experience is there. The mind is semi-functional, therefore dream is there, external world is not there. Mind is non-functional, therefore there is neither the dream world nor the external world nor the waking universe. How do you know? Because you are there all the time without winking. Without doing anything, you are there all the time like an owl, all the time seeing. And you don't have to make any effort to see. Just presence is enough. Everything is known. And that you are awareness. Pure consciousness. And that consciousness is ever the illuminator. From the standpoint of the illumined mind, illumined, experienced Jagat, consciousness gets the status of being the illuminator. From the standpoint of consciousness, it is not even the illuminator. Understand? Therefore, Jagat is Mithya, mind is Mithya. And what is Satyam? Consciousness alone is Satyam. The Mithya, what about the dream? The dream is nothing but thoughts. The dream is nothing but appearance of the motion. And consciousness caused by the thought motion. Similarly, this external world also is nothing but the appearance of consciousness in seeming motion. There is no real motion. Understand? That's what he says. And for which he uses these following verses. First, he takes the example of the dream world. Now you know, isn't it? The dream world, he calls the dream, he calls the consciousness, he uses these words. Swapna Drik. Swapna Drik is equal to pure consciousness, experiencer absolute experiencer of the dream. Swapnadrik. Then he calls the mind Swapnadrik Chittam. Swapnadrik is consciousness. Swapnadrik Chittam. I'm telling you this word, you have to remember. Swapnadrik Chittam means, okay, the relative experiencer, the mind. Swapnadrik means absolute experiencer, the consciousness. Swapnadrik Chittam means relative experiencer, mind. Then Swapnadrik Chitta Drishyam means absolutely experienced universe. Swapnadrik Chitta Drishyam means the world, the object of experience of the mind. Swapnadrik Chitta Drishyam. Let me repeat it now. Swapnadrik is equal to pure consciousness, the absolute experiencer. Then Swapnadrik Chittam, mind, the relative experiencer. Swapnadrik Chitta Drishyam, the ever experienced universe. Okay? Now you know very well. The world is mithya. Why? Because world is ever the object of experience. Object of experience never separate from the subject of experience, never separable, independent of the experiencer, the subject. Therefore, world is mithya. This relative experiencer mind also, which is experienced from the standpoint of the world, is dependent on the consciousness for it to be existent, for it to become sentient and conscious, thereby for it to be able to function as the experiencer of the universe. It is dependent on consciousness. Therefore, mind is also what? Mithya. The relatively experiencer mind also is mithya from the standpoint of consciousness, because mind is also object of experience, which means what? Mind is also illumined. Mind is dependent on Atma, the consciousness, for its very existence, for it to become sentient and conscious, for it to become to be able to be the function, the mind experiencer. It is dependent on the consciousness. Is it clear? And who, therefore, what mind of is mithya? Mind itself is mithya. What about the mind illumined world? The mithya mind, illumined world, cannot be satyam. Mind is mithya. It is a very big thing to understand. Mind is mithya. Mind produced, mind projected, mind illumined, mind experienced. World is also mithya. Understand? And now we say, if you look at the world being dependent on the mind to become experienced, to become known, thereby to have the status of being existent, the world can be looked upon as, the world is as good as the effect, mind is as good as the cause, okay? But still, you say what now? Mind is mithya, world is mithya. And what about consciousness? Consciousness is neither the subject nor the object. The standpoint of consciousness, it is what? Karya Karana Vilakshanam. Distinct from cause and effect, it is consciousness is neither the subject nor the object, neither the cause nor the effect. It is what now? It is the reality, the substratum of everything here, the knower and the known. The standpoint of consciousness, there is neither knower, there is no real knower, there is no real known, isn't it? Therefore, relatively there is a knower, relatively there is a known. Absolutely there is no knower or known. Therefore, consciousness is Satyam. Jagat is Mithya. The whole Jagat is appearance of consciousness in seeming motion. So first he uses the example of a dream. Now we have to imagine. Okay, now we are all in dream. Imagine. And in dream, imagine how you would have been in your dream. In your dream, there is an experiencer, Swapnadrik. Is there experiencer or not? There is a dream experiencer, Swapnadrik. And who is that experiencer, Swapnadrik? Consciousness. And there is your mind, isn't it? It is that mind which is the experiencer of the dream world. It's a dream world of objects. It's a Swapnadrik Chittam, the mind which is an experiencer, the standpoint of the world of experience. And there is Swapnadrik Chitta Drishyam, there is a world of objects, experience, isn't it? There's an experiencer, mind, there is a mind, there's a consciousness, there is mind, there's a world of experience. In the dream. In dream also you have three. There is a dream mind. See, there's a dream world of objects existing in the realm of dream, time and space. There's a dream individual. There's a dream body, mind and complex. And the dream mind. And there is a dreamer. Is it three? Isn't it true? Now understand, there is no dream world of experience outside of the dream individual mind. There is no dream individual mind outside of the dreamer. The dreamer alone is available as waker in the morning. Is it clear? Now extend the same thing to waking state. In the waking state, Jagrat Drik. Jagrat Drik is what? Consciousness, the waker. Consciousness. Then Jagrat Chittam, Jagrat Chitta, Jagrat Drik Chittam, Jagrat Drik, Jagrat Chitta Drik. The mind, the waking mind obtaining in the waking state, experiencing the external world. Then there is Jagrat Drishyam. So this object, this world is, when is the world, this waking universe which is experienced, can never become experienced. There is no such a thing called waking universe which has independent existence. If the mind is not there, finished, the world will not be there. You remove the mirror from in front of the house. Sun is there. Remove the mirror in front of the house. The dark room. In front of the entrance you have kept this mirror which is reflecting the sunlight all the time in the daytime. Okay. What happens now? There is a word, isn't it? You remove the mirror away. What happens? The mirror is taken away. The dark room continues to be there. Dark room becomes dark room. Illumined room becomes unillumined dark room. Again it is as good as non-existent. Bring the mirror again the dark room becomes illumined room. Take the mirror away, dark room. Put the mirror in front, illumined room. Similarly, the dark room is dependent on the mirror's reflected light. The mirror is the reflected light. Mirror is the reflection of the light. Understand? Similarly, this whole waking universe is dependent on the mind, functional mind for its existence. Minus mind, the world can never exist. The world will be not there at all. There's no world outside of your mind for you. Doesn't matter how much ever you travel, wherever you go. It is the mind which is there in the form of the world that is experienced in front of you. And that mind also is what? Mithya. Cannot be there minus consciousness will never become minus, okay? I'm just telling you. The consciousness is independent of the mind. Whether it is functional, it is non-functional. Whether the world exists, the world does not exist. The consciousness is always there as consciousness, independent of the mind and the world. If we include the mithya mind and the mithya world, resolve it in consciousness, satyam, and between consciousness and mind and the world, there is no karya karana sambandha. Why? Because mind and world together being mithya is not, there is no substance called mind. There is no substance called world. The only substance is consciousness. Therefore, resolve the mind and world in consciousness. Consciousness. And what is mind? What is this world? Nothing but seeming motion in consciousness. Alata spandita, beautiful example that is. Alata spandita abhasa sadrishaha. Ime dharmaha. All these objects are nothing but appearances of, as good as the appearances of the only consciousness in seeming motion. They are as good as the patterns and designs caused by the motion in the movement of the firebrand. Okay, that is what is going to say in these verses. Now you understood the three. Now you can read the verses quickly. Swapnadrik pracharan swapne, Swapnadrik pracharan swapne, Dikshu vaidashashu sthitam, Dikshu vaidashashu sthitam, Andajan svedajan vapi, Andajan svedajan vapi, Jivan pashyati yan sada, Jivan pashyati yan sada. Okay, first he says, Swapna Drik, the dream experiencer, the consciousness, the dreamer consciousness. Pracharan, this dreamer consciousness is there, Swapna Drik. Is there, but here the dream experiencer, the dream world experiencer, the mind. Okay, is also there. And the dream world of objects also is there. So imagine you are the dreamer, and in your dream you are a dream individual. Okay, there is a dream world in your mind, dream world, and the dream world you are a dream individual. And this dream individual moves around all over, goes in 10 directions, he wanders about. north, west, south of London, north of London, east of London, west of London, northeast, southwest, northwest, southeast. All the 8 quarters plus above and below, the 10 quarters. This dream individual in the dream world wanders in all 10 dream directions. And when he wanders means what? No pracharan, no pashyati. He experiences, the dream individual experiences. What is, now we are talking about the dream, okay? We are all in dream now. In dream, the dream individual wandering in all 10 directions, he experiences the dream world of objects. And the dream, what are all the objects he experiences? He experiences the dream time, dream space, and the dream, the living dream elements, dream elementals, dream living beings, dream non-living things, and of the dream living beings, he experiences what? The 4 types of living beings are there. Andajaha. Andajaha means egg-born creatures, like our birds. Andajaha. Svedajaha, moisture-born creatures. Svedajaha. Svedaha means sweat. Svedajaha means what? The creatures born of moisture, like insects. Then Andajaha, egg born. Svedajaha, moisture born. Let us include 2 more. We become complete, okay? Mammals are there. The womb born. Jarayujaha. Jarayu means womb. The mammals, the beings, creatures which are born of the womb. Born through the womb. Not born of the womb, born through the womb. We say what now? Jarayujaha, mammals. So we all come under the 3rd category. And then the 4th one is what? Udbijjaha. Udbijjaha means each seed, when the plant comes out, the sprout comes out, it breaks open the seed, it comes out. So Udbijja means breaking open. Not only the seed breaks open the seed cover and comes out, it also, the seeds break open the earth and come out. Therefore the creatures, the living beings, which are born breaking open the earth, are called what? Udbijjaha. Udbidya jayante. Iti udbijjaha. Sanskrit, every word you have a meaning. Okay? Everything can be explained. Why it is called Udbijjam? That which is born breaking open is called what? Udbijjaha. Udbidya jayate. Udbijjaha. So all the plants. So this dream individual enjoying the dream body, mind, sense complex in the dream world, isn't it? He moves all over in the dream directions. He goes to dream east, dream west, dream north, dream south, dream up and down, above and below. And he experiences all the non-living things and experiences all these living beings also. What are they? Andajaha, Svedajaha, Jarayujaha, Udbijjaha. He sees, experiences all forms of living beings, creatures, experiences in the dream. Isn't it? That's what he said in the... So, Swapnadrik, the dream individual, enjoying the dream body, mind, sense complex, now moving around in the dream, within the dream's time and space, wandering all over the dream directions, everywhere, and he experiences Andajan, Fedajan, Vapi, Jivan, Pashyati, Yan, Sada. He experiences. Okay. Let us read the next verse now. What happens to him? Swapnadrik chitta drishyaste. Swapnadrik chitta drishyaste. Na vidyante tatah prathak. Na vidyante tatah prathak. Tatha tadrishyame vedam.
Tatha tadrishyame vedam.
Swapna drikchittamishyate.
Swapna drikchittamishyate.
Okay, now he says in this verse, he's saying Swapnadrik chitta drishyaha. Swapnadrik chitta drishyaha means all the objects of experience, the dream world of experience, the objects of the dream world of experience. Tataha prutak na vidyante. They are inseparable. They are inseparable from the dreamer. Okay? The dream world is non-separate from the dream individual mind. Be careful here. The dream world of objects, the dream world of experience is non-separate from the dream individual mind. Similarly, the dream individual mind, so when you say the dream body is included in the dream world of objects, okay? The dream individual mind, the dream world of objects, including the dream body, is non-separate from the dream individual mind, and the dream individual mind is non-separate from the dreamer consciousness, dream experiencer consciousness. There is no dream individual mind which is separate from the dream experiencer consciousness. There is no dream world of experience which is separate from the dream individual mind. There is no dream body, mind, sense complex. There is no dream world. There is no dreamer out of the waker. That's a different thing, isn't it? You got it now? Which means they are inseparable. Because the world is dream world is inseparable from the dream mind. The dream mind is inseparable from the dreamer consciousness. There is no dream world or the dream mind. Understand? Now go to the next verse. Charan jagarite jagrat. Charan jagarite jagrat. Dikshu vaidashashu sthitan. Dikshu vaidashashu sthitan. Andajan svedajan vapi. Andajan svedajan vapi. Jivan pashyati yan sada. Jivan pashyati yan sada. Similarly, in the same way, in the same logic here. Here also what now? There is waking experiencer consciousness, the waker consciousness. Then there is a waking individual mind. Then the waking world of experience. Isn't it? We have three here also. This waker also, what does he do? This waker individual, isn't it? Going all over in all 10 directions, exists in the realm of waking time and space, experiences all the elements, elementals, animate, inanimate, sentient, insentient beings. He experiences all these 4 types of living creatures, just egg-born creatures, the moisture-born creatures, and then womb-born creatures, and also earth born, living beings, plants, etc. So experiences all types of varieties of being experiences, all these objects he experiences. Then what he says is, next verse he experiences, that's the first verse only tells experiences. Which means, and who is the experiencer of this external world of objects? Mind. Who is the illuminator of the dark room? Illuminator of the dark room is definitely this mirror. Illuminator of the dark room is the mirror. Because when the mirror is not there, why do we say mirror is the illuminator of the dark room? When the mirror is not there, sun is still there. Sun is above in the sky. Definitely the room is there, dark room is there, sun is there. Still, room is not illumined. Isn't it? Then the sun doesn't have the illuminated status also. Because room is there, sun is there. There is no illumination. Similarly, understand, therefore we say when the mirror is there, only then the room is illumined. The dark room is illumined only in the presence of the mind, in the presence of the mirror. Therefore, we have to say very clearly, the illuminator of the room is the mirror. Understand? Mirror. Not the sun. Sun does not directly illumine the dark room. Sun is not capable of illumining the dark room directly. Illuminator of the dark room is the mirror. But mirror independently cannot become the illuminator of the dark room. The mirror, first of all, it has to shine as a mirror, and then it has to borrow the light from the sun. It has to have reflect the sunlight to have the status of being the illuminator of the dark room. Mirror itself is dependent on the sunlight to be illumined, to become the illuminator of the dark room. Is it clear? Therefore, mirror is relative illuminator from the standpoint of the dark room. The mirror being dependent on sunlight, mirror is illumined. Mirror is only relative illuminator, relatively illumined. Mirror also is dependent, therefore mirror is mithya. The mirror illumined dark room also is mithya. Sunlight is the satyam. Similarly here, this waking world of experience is what now? Who is the knower of the external world of objects? Consciousness does not directly experience the world. That is why consciousness is not the experiencer. Understand now? Sun is not the illuminator of the dark room. Sun is not the illuminator. There is no illuminator at all other than the sun. But sun is not the illuminator of the dark room. Similarly, consciousness is not the knower of the external world of objects. But there cannot be a knower without the blessing of consciousness in terms of its very presence. Understand? Therefore, mind is the illuminator of the external world. Mind is the knower of the external world. Who is the knower of the world? Mind is the knower of the world. But mind is without consciousness cannot even exist. And therefore, where is the question of enjoying the status of being the illuminator? So, mind for its very existence, for it to have the status of being the illuminator, Deva status, Devendra status, the mind can have only if it is blessed by the presence of consciousness. That's why presence of consciousness itself is blessing. Understand? We have to see blessing in a greater sense. Therefore we say consciousness is what? Therefore consciousness is not the illuminator. From the standpoint of consciousness is not the illuminator. The standpoint of the mind, the illuminator is consciousness. The standpoint of the world, illuminator is the mind. But we say the absolute illuminator is consciousness. Relative illuminator is the mind. But anyway, the mind is also mithya. Why? Because there is no external world or world of objects which is separable, independent of the mind. The world can never exist separate, outside of, independent of the mind. The mind is ever inseparable from consciousness. So where is the world? Where is the mind? The whole world is appearance of consciousness in seeming motion. Understand? For the next verse he says, this inseparability of world and the mind and consciousness. Jagrat chitte kshaniyaste na vidyante tatah prathak tatha tadrishyame vedam jagratas chittamishyate. So jagrata chitta ikshaniyaha. Jagrat chitta ikshaniyaha means what? All these innumerable countless forms and names which are being experienced by the mind. Okay, ikshaniyaha te na vidyante tataha prathak. This experienced world of objects is non-separate from the experiencer mind. This world of experience is inseparable from the experiencer mind. Just as the illumined opaque is inseparable from the light. There is no distance between the opaque and the light. Similarly, the experienced world is inseparable from the experiencer mind. The experienced mind is inseparable from the experiencer, absolute experiencer consciousness. Is it clear? This is the teaching. Therefore what? What was said before? Jagat mithya. Jagat has no independent existence at all. Because it has no independent existence, it cannot be counted. Matter has no you can reduce the universe into matter, and you can say that matter has no independent existence. Therefore, the world has no independent existence. So what? Independent existence is not there means it cannot be counted as a parallel reality. Parallel reality means it cannot be counted as a parallel reality means it is non-countable. Non-countable means what? It is as good as non-existent. Therefore, what is it then? It is only appearance of the reality, Satyam, the Brahman, Atma, the consciousness. This is the teaching. What does he come back to? Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. So what is that consciousness? The only reality which alone is manifest as his whole prapancha. I am that consciousness. You have to lift, shift the essence, drag the essence carefully, prudently, cognitively, intelligently from the grass, tiny little body sitting in one corner, drag it from there, drag it, the essence from the mind, and where can you resolve it? There is no place to resolve essence. You have to helplessly resolve it in consciousness and say, Aham Brahmasmi, Ahamidam Sarvam. Okay. Class is over today. I have time for questions and answers. Rojaji, please go ahead with your questions.
Just two, really. The first one, could you explain the difference, if there is a difference, between the doer and the enjoyer?
Okay. See, when there is identity with the body, the doer. See, body is involved in physical activities, of course the activities. The mind is also involved in the function of thinking. The sense organs are involved in the function of seeing, hearing, etc. When the identity is with this body, mind, sense complex, naturally there is a notion, I am the doer, isn't it? I am the doer. That is called having that notion that I am the doer is called what? Kartrutvam. Kartrutvam means what? The notion that I am the doer. And when there is experience of pain or experience of pleasure, joy, when you say I am happy, I am pleased, I am sad, I am unhappy, I am very happy, I am pleased, when you say there your identity is with the experience in the form of thought in your mind. When the identity is with the mind, there is a notion that I am the experiencer. The identity, when you identify yourself with the mind, obtaining in the form of experience of joy or pain or pleasure, then your identity is with what? That is why you say, when there is joy in the mind, what is joy or pleasure? Pleasure or joy is a thought modification, is a state of mind. What is pain? Pain is also a thought modification, which is a sorrow is a, so different degrees of pain we go through. Pain, grief, agony, sorrow, different degrees. Intolerable, tolerable. So this pain is also thought modification, which is mind. If you are a wise person, if you have objectivity, you can say what? I am consciousness, distinct from the mind, which is in the form of thoughts as pain, experience of pain and experience of pleasure. Then you are objective towards your mind. I am consciousness incidentally endowed with the mind which has what? Pain and pleasure. This is objectivity. But why wisdom is not there, naturally, even though we understand, because assimilation of the teaching is not there, then naturally then there is joy, you say I am happy, I am peaceful. When there is a pain, I am very sad, upset, I am unhappy. Which means your identity is with the mind, then you say you are you think what now? You are the there is notion that I am the experiencer of pain and pleasure. That is called bhoktrutvam. The entertaining the notion that I am the enjoyer, experiencer is called bhoktrutvam. That bhoktrutvam is there when there is identity with the mind. Experience is nothing but mind. When there is identity with the body, mind, sense complex, when there is a notion that I am the doer, then I am the doer. Notion is kartrutvam. The difference is identity is only with the mind, isn't it? Even the physical pain is there. Not only pain and pleasure in the mind. The physical pain is there. Oh my God! You can't say the body, my back is aching. No, the back has pain I am free from pain. We don't say that. I have no pain. I am consciousness witnessing the body is having pain. We can't say that. Back means, oh my God, immediately we've had that, which means your identity is with the body. Body's pain becomes your pain. Then also what your experiencer. Therefore, the notion that I am the experiencer, the notion that I am the doer is what now? Is purely because of the identity with the body, mind, sense complex. I'm not saying the wise person will not have pain. I am not saying. Wise person also will have pain, but he will have objectivity. He will not be afflicted. But the ignorant person will have the pain and be very much afflicted and shattered because of his subjectivity, because of his non-objectivity, because of his wrong identity, because of his internalization. Isn't it? The knower doer is, it is the identity with the body, mind, and complex. No? It results in knower and doer. Knower and experiencer. The doer experiencer.
That's very useful. But just to follow that, when you speak of the identification with the body, mind, knower, and enjoyer, well, the consciousness doesn't identify, as I understand it, doesn't identify with anything.
No. Consciousness has no identity.
So the identity is the I.
Yeah. Now the question comes: who is the one who has this identity?
Yes.
Isn't it? The right identity is only the mind. This mind which is hanging in between, Rogerji, the mind is thinking that because the world is inseparable from the mind, the mind is inseparable from the consciousness also, isn't it? There is I sense in the mind, isn't it? That I is one of the thought modifications, isn't it? See, there are various thought modifications which constitute the mind. The knowledge I am is also what? Cognition. What is a cognition? Cognition, experience, knowledge, we mean thought plus consciousness, isn't it? I am. So the world is, that is, this is, like that. So any experience, any cognition, any knowledge being thought plus consciousness, here the question comes here, what are you? Do you want to identify yourself with mithya matter or satyam consciousness? Where should the I be placed? Therefore, the identity is the wrong identity, right identity is actually because of what? The mind alone. Consciousness does not have identity. Consciousness is, because of consciousness, there is something called identity is possible. Without consciousness, there cannot be identity at all, isn't it? It is because of the presence of consciousness, blessing of consciousness, identity itself is possible. Right identity, wrong identity. Right knowledge, wrong knowledge. Right perception, wrong perception. Right and wrong both are possible because of the very presence of consciousness. Isn't it? And because of consciousness alone, right and wrong it can be discerned also. And because of consciousness alone, wrong can be resolved also. Because of consciousness alone, right can be retained also. And being consciousness, both right and wrong can be resolved also. And therefore, consciousness is free from wrong identity also. Consciousness has neither right identity nor wrong identity. Consciousness has no identity, isn't it? It is the individual being obtaining as I, isn't it? I. That is why the identity is also one of the methods Shastram uses to help you slowly understand the reality. So identity means what? Entertainment of the notion is called identity. There is a notion which is again in the form of a thought. The thought also is there. Isn't it? So I can be, see, that's why the very thing, I means, the I is identified with the knower. initially what happens when you do not, even before the Drishya Viveka Prakriya, the knower I is identified with the known body dimensions complex. Leave alone knowing the knower being consciousness. Okay, that is final thing. You finally arrive at the knower is consciousness. That is a different thing. Initially, the knower known difference itself is not known. Isn't it, Rojaji? The knower known difference is not there. The knower is identified as with the known. That is why I am the body. I have pain. I have suffering. I am the body. Means the knower is identified with the known mind. The knower I is identified with the known pranas, known senses, known body, known. Understand? All of them are known. That's why the knower has been distinguished first of all from the known because of the inseparability of the knower and the known. Even the mind also you can take it for example. Isn't it? There's no inseparable. That is why inseparably together, that is why it's identified means what? The mistaken. You are not able to discern. When you see the wave and the water, you are not able to distinguish the water from the wave. Physically they are non-distanceable, but they are intellectually distinguishable. You can distinguish what? You can understand the water being distinct from the wave Namarupa. Similarly, here also the knower, there is no knower, solid knower sitting there. Knower is abstract consciousness, which is manifest as knowledge I am. The pure consciousness manifest as the knowledge I am. Isn't this the highest form of manifestation of consciousness is what? The knowledge I am. And that is the manifestation of the consciousness as what knowledge the world is. I am, the world is. Both are what? Aham, idam. Both are manifestations of knowledge. Okay, consciousness manifest is what? Pure consciousness is pure knowledge. The pure knowledge is manifest as what? Knowledge I am, knowledge the world is. I am, the world exists. Both are what? Manifestations of knowledge. And here, this world is what? The knowledge of the object. I am is what? The knowledge of the self. So the knowledge of the existence of the self is I am. The knowledge of the existence of the world is what? The world is. I am, the world is. In fact, if we say I is, world is, no problem. Be easy to understand. I, the knowledge of the, I is, world is. Is means what? I am. That am is what? Existence of consciousness. Consciousness alone is manifest as existence of I. In the expression I am. It is consciousness alone manifest as the existence of the world. In the expression world is. There the is implies consciousness being manifest as existence. In I am implies consciousness being manifest as existence of I. Therefore, initially we are too gross to understand the subtle difference. Our identity is with what? The knower known distinction itself is not there. Knower known difference itself is not there. For you to arrive at the truth, for you to know who you are, you need to know that you are the knower first of all. And to know you are the knower, and you have to be shown how you knower are different from the known. That is why Drik Dishya is a kindergarten step in Vedanta Shastram. The kindergarten step itself is so beautiful, first of all. Nowhere you have this teaching tradition except Vedanta Shastram. It differentiates the knower from the known. There is subject-object analysis, the knower-known. Distinguishing the knower-known analysis is what? Drik Dishya Viveka Prakriya. First, that's why the very Vedanta first class is so really attractive. Why? Because the first leap, my God, I am the knower. I am different from the known. Body is the known, which means I is not the body. That itself is a very big click for us, isn't it? That is when Vedanta attracts and keeps you under this spell. And finished, it has taken us, and we had to be with Vedanta throughout, isn't it? It's a big thing. That is why, Rajaji, you are correct. Consciousness does not have any identity. Isn't it? The identity, this knowledge, which is manifest as I, what this manifest knowledge is. Isn't it? What is manifest knowledge I am? What is manifest knowledge this universe is? Without which manifestation there cannot be I, there cannot be this. This I will not be if there is no such a thing called I am. What is that knowledge which is manifest as I? What is that knowledge which is manifest as this I and this aham idam? What is that? That which one alone was manifest as I, manifest as this, manifest as knower, manifest as not. That one consciousness is free from all identities. Isn't it? Yeah.
So my question, which I've had for a while, is the repetition of Aham Brahmasmi is still manifest consciousness, which leads to divisionless consciousness.
No, it doesn't lead to. Consciousness is ever divisionless, of the nature of divisionlessness. So, the Aham Brahmasmi is also Vritti Jnanam. I tell you, consciousness is the pure knowledge. The knowledge of the self-existence, knowledge of the existence of the world. It's a beautiful way of saying it. Knowledge of the existence of one's own self. Knowledge of the existence of the world. Isn't it? Knowledge of anything, any knowledge is manifestation of consciousness. Knowledge is nothing but manifestation of pure knowledge, pure consciousness. Even ignorance also is manifestation of knowledge. Anger is manifestation of knowledge. Because anything which is an object of knowledge is manifestation of knowledge. That's a beautiful thing to say. Any object of knowledge is manifestation of knowledge. Manifestation of knowledge means appearance of knowledge. Appearance of consciousness. Any object of knowledge is manifestation of knowledge. Any manifestation of knowledge is appearance of knowledge, which is consciousness. That is why we say in every object of experience, every phenomenon is what? Illumination of consciousness. Their appearance of consciousness. It's called what? Devata. Abba. Now you understand the meaning of the word Devata. See, what an amount of teaching is required to arrive at this, why Shastram calls every phenomenon as Devata. Every phenomenon here is Devata. That word is so expressive, understand that, isn't it?
Yes. You know the goal for everyone, the moksha, the goal, the real goal that the Vedanta, Advaita. Are we saying that we stop at manifest consciousness? What is that goal? What is the... if we know...
Desire for moksha, I mean.
Desire for moksha. Because we know...
Of course. That's what I mean, Nimita, Dina. See, desire, you understand one thing. Every object of knowledge is manifestation of knowledge. What is desire? Desire is an object of knowledge. Manifestation of knowledge. Any manifest knowledge is Ishvara. That's what desire is, Ishvara. What is anger? Anger is object of experience. Any object of experience is manifestation of knowledge. Therefore, is what? Ishvara. How can you say everything is Ishvara? How do you understand? Everything is Ishvara means what? Everything is Ishvara is equal to everything is manifestation of knowledge. Every object of knowledge is manifestation of knowledge. Every opaque thing which reflects the light, which shines in the reflected light, is reflection of the light. Every opaque thing is a reflection of the light. Why do you say, instead of saying reflecting, light reflecting object, why do you say reflection of the light? Because the opaque has no independent existence outside of the light. Therefore, every opaque object is, we say initially we start like this. Opaque object reflects the light, reflecting medium for the light. Then we say there is reflected light. Light gets the status of being the reflected light from the standpoint of the opaque object. Finally, we say there is no reflected light and reflecting medium. Every opaque thing is reflection of the light. Light is Brahma. Reflection of the light is Ishvara. Understand? Like that, every object here is what? Ishvaraha, Bhagavan. Every object is what? There is no subject other than consciousness. Every object is what? Manifestation of consciousness. Manifest consciousness is what? Manifestation of consciousness means every object is consciousness manifest. That is why every object is Ishvara. Everything is Ishvara. Whole Jagat is Ishvara. This is our concept of Ishvara. The more we study, the more we understand. Understand? Knowledge means manifestation of knowledge. Why? This is an object of knowledge. Knowledge is an object of knowledge. Ignorance also is an object of knowledge. Therefore, ignorance also is what? Manifestation of knowledge. Where does ignorance shine? Where does knowledge shine? Not outside of consciousness. How do you recognize the darkness? Differentiate the darkness, isn't it? Darkness and light. Ignorance and knowledge. Both are two different manifestations of the reality in consciousness. Where both are objects. When you say, I know English, the knowledge of English is what? Manifestation of knowledge, the consciousness. I do not know Tamil. When you say, what is that? Ignorance of Tamil is what? That's also you know that you do not know. Therefore, that's also a manifestation of knowledge. Okay. All that is here is only knowledge. To arrive at this abstract fact, lot of work needs to be done. Rojaji, have I answered your question?
You have, Swami, very fully.
Okay.
If it's been recorded, I'll look at it again. But what was really, it's not a question, don't anyone worry. What really hit me was, the answer I was looking for was when you said the knower has to be separated from the known. I find that very, very important.
Initially.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a step one, isn't it? See, in the process of the method of knowing, Rojaji, the method of knowing, that is initially we separate, then finally we resolve. Separate to resolve. If you do not separate at all, how will you resolve it? Separate, resolve. Enter to come out. Separate to resolve. Get attached to discover detachment.
Get married.
Don't divorce, doctor. No way of divorcing. That's not a solution.
Sorry, I have seen this word anti-knowledge being used for ignorance. I don't know what to think about it.
That is wrong translation, doctor.
Anti-knowledge.
Against knowledge.
In the books.
Yes. See, knowledge is opposed to ignorance.
Yeah.
Why opposed? Because where there is knowledge, there cannot be ignorance. Suppose where knowledge, physics knowledge will not remove chemistry ignorance. Therefore they are opposed to each other. Physics knowledge is opposed to only physics ignorance. That is what we say opposed to. That's why anti they say. Opposed means what? They cannot coexist. So knowledge of a given object and ignorance of the given object cannot coexist. Suppose if I know physics, my physics knowledge will not remove my mathematics knowledge. Ignorance. And opposed to. It's opposed to only that ignorance, isn't it? That's what they mean. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tatsad. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.